Hey, what up, bitches? So I had this crazy idea, as I often do. So I guess this is more an insight to how my mind works and is anything actually important. But just looking how I should have brushed my hair. Oh, dandruffs. So I was thinking a lot about eye contact. How I feel like, see, my day job is I work with people that have intellectual disabilities, and I work at a group home. So I have several individuals I work with, and trying to reason with them and motivate them to do things that they have to do, like wash their ass and wash their hands and flush a toilet after themselves, and basic shit that we all know, but they're kind of stuck in the developmental stage of a child in those regards. I've gotten to experiment with things I normally wouldn't experiment with, and that's certain things like eye contact, like trying to communicate my intentions purely through my eyes with people. I mean, I've done this in romantic relationships where, extremely close and intimate, but outside of that, no, not really. I'm not staring people down and giving them eye signals and stuff. So it put the idea in me, and I started thinking a lot more about it, and I'm thinking about doing it more generally now, just on the street, complete strangers, like trying to do that. And I've always been afraid of doing that. And usually, when I was younger, like in high school and junior high school, it's because I felt vulnerable doing that. Like I'm opening myself up to something. It just felt so scary doing it. And after as I got older, it felt more like a responsibility not to do it because I would freak other people out. Yeah, I realized I'm more of a threat than that. And then for a little while, it became like a technique thing. It was like you could shove people in their head by staring at them. I'm not like staring like a weirdo, like not like that. Like just like looking people in the eye and then make to the point where they look away. Just kind of shoves them in their head. But it was just like a simple thing. Like, oh, I want to make you self conscious and look at you. And it wasn't really much more depth put into the thought than that. But now, because I'm all about Jungian archetypes and looking at the symbolism in things and all this stuff that I know one of my friends will be like, it's bullshit. You're making it up. Yes, exactly. But that's okay. Yes, but it's okay. It's not meant to be like a scientific thing. It's more of an art. It's more of a principle that's being applied through interpretation and tying it to myths and legends to try and strengthen it. You know, so it's an aesthetic choice, an aesthetic interpretation of natural events. So here it is. Uh, I'm going to relate it to the dojutsu in Naruto, which is the various eye magic shit they got going on with the Byakugan and the Sharingan, the Rinnegan, and all that crap. I never got a text message. Anyway, so the people with the Byakugan, right, the Hyuga clan, they have the white eye that sees everything. And in the mythological sense, eyes are the windows to the truth. The more vision you have, the more power you have because you have the truth of the world. You're able to perceive the truth. And it's always been like a philosophical thing, like with the pyramid and the eye in the middle. That meant, it was like the pyramid was the hierarchy of the world, and the eye was the ability to see the truth, to perceive things for what they are, and that's necessary for leadership and for being able to take part in the world. And Jordan Peterson goes into this whole thing about breaking down the significance of eyes, especially in Egyptian mythology, where it goes to like Horus and I think Amun, or I don't know. There's the old god, the old dying god who goes blind, loses his eyes, and his son has to delve into the underworld to find carcass of his father and retrieve the eyes that his father lost. And he uses his father's vision to enhance his own, and he gets these super duper eyes. So it's like you're combining the legacy of your forefathers, the vision that they had to create the world, and combining it with your own to create something new, with synthesizing the current state with the past, with the legacy and traditions of your forefathers to create the future. And that you need to have vision to do something like this and be able to see things accurately so that you can make judgments, just judgments, appropriate judgments. So the background about why eyesight is important from a mythological standpoint. And in the context of Naruto, so the Hyuga clan are able to see everything. And then they're not really developed. They don't really do shit. They're just kind of like the moon people who guard. They're like discarded really fucking early. So then we get to what's Sasuke's clan? The Sharingan people. Forgive me, I don't fucking remember. It's been a while since I've watched anything Naruto. So his people. This is really annoying me. The Sharingan people. They also have the ability to see things better than other people, but they can make judgments. They're able to. They have an offensive eye jutsu. They can attack you with it. They can send their impulses to you. They can make you see illusions. They can conjure things with their eyes. And this is the aspect that I think I was more afraid of with making eye contact with strangers. Is the fact that I can affect somebody by looking at them. That it. That right there. You can affect people with your gaze. That's the Sharingan. In a mythological archetype setup, that is as simple as that. You have the ability to shake people up with your eyesight, with your gaze. And that usually comes from a place of from being higher up, or that person perceives you as a threat. It could be like a predator-prey situation, or in a mating situation where somebody who has higher status looks at somebody with a lower status. They get fear and they get affected by it. So there's a lot that goes on in that regard, and I don't know how to really relate that clan with those things, with being predators or anything. But they were like a direct descendant. They were supposed to be the most powerful, right? They're the direct descendants from the Sage of Six Paths and his most powerful son, who had the eyesight and he could affect people, but just by looking at them. He was the first one to awaken the Sharingan and all that. Well, technically his father was, but he inherited it and passed it along through that line. And it was the weaker brother who inherited the title of the legacy of his father. Which is funny in a way. If you think about it relating to Greek myth, the weaker son that didn't have the eyesight powers inherited the will of his father. And the ones that did have the vision, the ability to see things for what they are, he is the one that didn't inherit his father's will. And that's the exact opposite of what they recommend in each Egyptian mythology. So they're just, the world in Naruto is being led without vision, which I'm gonna have to think about that more to see what the significance of that is. But it's just interesting, a little tidbit. Where I want to go from here. So I'm really thinking about the ability to affect people with just my eyesight, and what responsibility I have for that. What is it that I actually do to people? What is it that a person can do by looking at somebody? What are the benefits? Or maybe like everything that I thought about it is wrong. And this is the angle that I'm coming at it with, that I want to try. I want to verify. Like, all right, I've been afraid to do this because I always felt guilty about looking people in the eyes. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I've been wrong. Maybe I should try it and then figure out there's a whole new world that I never even noticed. Try it out. I'm looking at you.